The Justin Robert Young podcast is brought to you as always by patreon.com/JuRY. Again, that is patreon.com/JuRY. Support the show the only way I can tell you to do it. Just kidding. I can tell you how to do it a bunch of other ways. Aside from patreon.com/JuRY, you can also, if you've got Amazon Prime, look, I'm going to break this here to you. I know that you might hear that we live stream the show at twitch.tv/JustinRYoung. But what you might not know is that the easiest way that you can give me money without actually taking any money out of your pocket is by using your Amazon Prime money that is already dedicated to Twitch. If you never go to Twitch and you have Amazon Prime, but you like me, guess what? You give me money, doesn't come out of your pocket. You already have it just waiting for you as an Amazon Prime member. Head on over to twitch.tv/JustinRYoung, hit subscribe, and when you do that, it'll walk you through how to connect your Amazon Prime to your Twitch account. You might have to make a Twitch account. I swear to God, if you take 5 minutes, you give me free money forever. We're totally cool. Just walk up to me the next time you see me and say, Justin, I'm giving you free money forever. And I will say, you, ain't nobody better than you. Speaking of ain't nobody better, what do you say we go ahead and stop talking about how we support the show and start talking about how we do the damn thing?
Ugly ain't the half, look at you. Well, you got blue teeth and you only got 2 teeth, but I kinda like to see you smile. And it appears that over the years you've turned into a big old steaming pile. And she said, yeah, I know I ain't no supermodel. I said, you ain't a hand model, baby, but that's fine. By most people's standards, but you're all right by mine.
Oh, I cannot wait to see the Possum Posse once again. That, of course, will be at the Night Attack Live show in Austin, Texas. And that is March 10th. At the Kung Fu Saloon, 2 p.m. Be there or be square. I mean, what are you going to say? They're great. They're great. Everybody go. Let the immortal Possum Posse know that they're the best. Hi, friends. It's your old pal, Justin Robert Young here, joining you once again here on the Justin Robert Young Show. I'm not going to lie to you, man. My mind's in many different places. I got a lot on my plate right now, and 90% of it is all pointing to this Thursday, 2 days from today, in San Francisco, California, at the Piano Fight Theater, the first ticketed live show that I have done in a very long time. And the first one that I've done solo ever. Got me thinking, though, as I prep. And boy, am I prepping, man. We got to get the show good. Of course, I'm talking about the Sex Scandal Brackets live show, the best political sex scandals of all time, all slotted into 16 different seeds. I guess 4 different conferences with 4 seeds each, 16 in total. We will break it down live on Thursday, March 1st, but we will also that Friday begin the online version, and everybody listening will be able to to go ahead and share that with all their friends, and you guys can vote each and every week until we determine who the king of the hardwood truly is. I'm very excited to reveal all this to you guys. I really, really, really am happy with how it came out. I'm very excited for the live show, but we got to get the show up to snuff. We got to get the tech up to snuff. We got to figure out how we're recording it. We got to figure out how we're going to stream it if we can. That's a big maybe at this point. Then, of course, I got to sell the tickets. I got to make sure that I'm doing my promo. I got to make sure that all of our emails are set up so we can blast out all the stuff that we have coming up this Friday, including all the things that are going to be sold at the live show. We got our pin sets that I got to put together, have them ready to go. Man, it's a lot. It's a lot. But, in a lot of ways, it's a sign of how far, things have come. Because the last time that I was doing a ticketed live event was much less preparation. I take you back now. I would assume that this is probably 2006. I'm guessing that we are in the 2006 range, and I wonder if this is the last time I did a ticketed event. All right, I'm going to tell this story, and then maybe it's apocryphal, and we did another one. But we were doing a live show for my old sketch comedy group, The Cleanest River in America. If there was ever a more sketch comedy group name, then I would like to hear it. The Cleanest River in America. It's a nice thing. Get it? Because we'll make dirty jokes. And we rented out this thing was just a fucking basement. Just an absolute just hole of a place. Like, it was just stairwell into a dead end of a basement that they had just painted black so they could sell it out to various people and comedians and sketch comedy groups and everything. If I remember correctly, this shit was like $75, which of course was like all any of us could fucking muster because we were right out of college, three of us. And we were just trying to make sure that we could rope enough of our friends together to come see us live in this weird basement. It was near the Village. I remember that because at the time, and we'll see how this will have changed by the time that me as a 34-year-old man goes on stage this Thursday. But in my early 20s, I was a very energetic performer. I used to get very, wound very, very, very tight. I would get myself into this very kind of, frenetic sort of mood. In fact, I remember sometimes, this was when we were a college group. They eventually just stopped asking me, but the leader of the group would say, hey, we're all going to do a little cool down, a little meditation. So we're in a good frame of mind. So we're all going to sit down. We're going to be quiet. Where I'm going to lead everybody through a little bit of, focus, cooling, sharpening, clearing our mind of stress, clearing our mind of worries, so we can go on stage and feel nothing but the muse of the evening. I respectfully declined. And the reason why is because I'm a lunatic. And I kind of felt bad because I really wanted to be a part of those bonding moments. I really did. I didn't want to be a man apart, but I was terrified of slowing down. I was terrified of losing the frenetic energy that normally comes along with what my pre-show ritual was, which was in the following order: taking my first gen, or maybe second gen iPod, filling it with songs from the Kill Bill soundtrack, and becoming very adversarial to the world. I would think about literally everybody for whom I didn't like, or that I would think had wronged me at some point, or had not shown the appropriate amount of faith toward me. And I would think about bathing myself in their embarrassment. That I would be so good. I would be so tremendous. I would stand out so much that anybody, whether or not they were there to see me perform, they would feel the cold chill of death up their spine. They would immediately feel as if a ghost walked through them. For what they would be feeling is me crushing things so hard that a little piece of their soul, a shard of their very being, would become mine. I would take it and I would put it in a jagged nest of other soul shards like I was a weird bird. I would then spread my wings and caw to the heavens, for this would be the only thing that would make me feel whole. I also used to get very, very worked up before shows. I would literally just pace. I would just pace and mutter to myself. This would be my pre-show ritual. I would just pace around, and I would just say like, you son of a... Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you want that? Oh, yeah. Huh? Mm-hmm. I would want to get so worked up that I couldn't think about anything else but the show. Because I was terrified about forgetting my lines. Now, this was when I was doing sketch comedy, and I was just... terrified. TVZ got in the chat room says, sounds like you were a lot of fun for your fellow performers. A reminder that I got kicked out of this comedy group. Again, a reminder that it was a very traumatic moment in my life when I was kicked out of my comedy group. So this may or may not be instructive as to the kind of person that I was that led me being ejected from a group that I co-founded. You know, now that I think about it, I would like to say that I grew out of it, but I don't. I'd be lying if I said I did, because, you know, the most recent kind of return to sort of like solo live performing that I did was at Nerdtacular a couple years ago. And I literally did the exact same thing. I just looked, except now all of my anger was not based toward random people. All of my anger was based to the people that kicked me out of the comedy group. And I just looked, I had psychotic eyes, just death rays out of my eyes I just looked at myself. I looked at myself in the mirror like a serial killer and just kept having a conversation with the enemies that live in my head. I guess for me, comedy is adversarial, or at least that's how I've always kind of performed it. I've always kind of felt like I wanted to team up with the audience to smite those that I didn't like. And I don't know whether or not that's unique or the norm. But I wonder if it'll be different on Thursday. I'll follow up with you guys. I'll let you know. I suspect that I will be very that I'll be calmer, because now I have a little bit more to lose, you know, and there are other people with me that are like being very. I have my own kind of support staff, because Ashley will be there and Tamar will be there, and I won't quite have the space to just act like an absolute fucking lunatic. But let's focus on another element, because this is kind of the other end of how far I worked myself up. Performers will know this, that the high of a performance is very often matched by an emotional low. You know, it's kind of part of the job, is that you want to get up to a very high frequency. I'm a very big believer when it comes to performing anything, podcasts or whatever, that you want to be at an abnormal frequency as a performer. Meaning that if we are all pattern recognizing creatures, you want somebody that is listening to you or watching you to look at you and say, you are both relatable and different. You're not something that I see all the time. But that kind of comes at a cost. You sort of come down. And oftentimes that lull is weird, because you want to bask in the glory, but if things go well, then you're sad because you can't do it again. And if things go poorly, you just wallow in every little tiny thing that went wrong. I think in general, one of my failings is to be insecure, and I can certainly say that in my early to mid to late 20s and much of my early 30s, I was a very insecure performer. And so I don't quite remember what it was that night where we performed in that weird basement. I can't remember what went right or what went wrong. But I remember, now that I talk about it, I remember the feeling that there's only one way to react after a live show. And that is to swear up and down that it sucks. And then if people correct you, then that's a true sign that it was right. And if they're silent, that means that it really did suck. I remember that for some reason. I also remember going to a bar afterward and drinking a lot of Omagong Wits. Folks in the New York State area will be familiar, although I've seen it out here too. Omagong Wit. It is a beer out of Cooperstown. And at that point in my life, I primarily drank Guinness. It was like the first, middle, and last drink of every night was a Guinness, right? But I guess they didn't have Guinness, but they did have Omagog. And I remember getting into a fight because I kept saying that that the show sucked. And somebody else kept telling me that it didn't. And now we had a wild, swirling confluence of events on our hands. As a early 20s jury, and I forget even who the fuck I was arguing with. It might have been somebody else in the group, and it might have been one of their friends. But I was getting into their face, and not necessarily like in a fight, I'm going to punch you in the nose kind of way, but more like a they were trying to be reassuring. Now, what are you saying? Justin, isn't that what you were looking for? Somebody to be reassuring? Yeah. Okay. Yes, and I also didn't. I had no time apparently for any of this. And I just kept saying, no. It sucked. We missed this. The show's garbage. We can do better. We'll do better. We have to do better. Now we have to do better. Before, if we would have done a good show, maybe we could have thought about never doing it again. But instead we did a bad show. Now we have to do a million shows forever. We did it better in rehearsal. We got to do it better. I'm realizing also now how much I empathize with people who kicked me out of this group. But I kept saying, like, no, we can do it better. And they kept saying, no, it was fine. It was great. Everybody laughed. Everybody who was there was saying how funny you guys were. You guys were great. People loved you. You were great. You, Justin, were being singled out as somebody that really, really, really did well. You should feel good. This should be a moment of celebration. I've gotten better about this over the years, but something that was happening, to give you context in this story, is I've always kind of looked at depression specifically and just bad feelings in general. Whenever I'm in a very dark mood, alcohol tends to not be water on the campfire so much as gasoline. And lo, did the flames lick the heavens that night. I'd like to say that I won the argument. Hell, I'd like to say that the argument ended. It didn't really end. I mean, God kind of intervened. And what I mean by that is in the middle of one of my big pontificating, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, rebuttals, it was as if I was cut off by the universe. Because I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm talking and I puke on myself. It takes a lot of talent, I might add, to puke only on yourself while you're also getting into somebody's face. And in my heart of hearts, I'd like to say that I was being considerate, but in reality, I feel like it was just the trajectory of the universe that understood that nobody deserved to puke on themselves but me. I was then cut off by the bar and ushered out. I can't remember whether or not I got a cab to Hoboken or took the PATH train back. Might have went to the Port Authority and then got a cab. That was sometimes the move. But that was the last. That was the last one. That was the last show that I can remember where we went out and sold tickets. It's funny telling that story now. It's It's definitely a lot sadder than I would have thought in the abstract. Probably because I'm telling it sad. I'm sure that there's a very bro-y kind of a bro-y kind of way to tell it that makes it sound a little bit more wacky and zany. But I guess that might be some element of growth in my life. I recognize hard work a little bit more than I did back then. I worked incredibly hard on those shows. I worked incredibly hard on those sketches. I love them. I love my fellow performers. I wrapped a lot of my identity in that. In the same way that I wrap a lot of my identity in this stuff. And I feel so tremendously bonded to everybody that is coming out to this show and people that are that have helped me do it. Have helped me make the brackets, John Teasdale and Tamar. I've been lucky enough to surround myself with tremendous people. And I guess that's probably what the difference is that back then, I think I took a lot of those people for granted, or at least I had a self-centered way of looking at it. I knew that I loved them, but if my love for them also ran headlong into my self-loathing, then guess what would win? I wouldn't stop and say, hey, you want to know what the rest of the people in my group don't need? Me talking about how the show sucked. Even if I think in my own head that, hey, I'm the one who did it. And even though I'll be out there alone, I know that it wasn't me that put everything together. And so I guess I want to do it for everybody else. I guess that's the difference. That'll be the difference. That has been the difference in my preparation. That's been the difference in how I want to handle it. And I want to have pride in it. And maybe it'll go great. Maybe it'll go mediocre. Maybe it'll go bad. But you want to know what? I feel good about the effort going in. I feel good about the product that we're going to put out there. And I feel great about the reaction that we have gotten to ticket sales. So let me just say this for the record. Thank you. Thank you for being here and listening to me yammer about stuff like this, because it does mean quite a lot. Hey, let's talk about dating trend names. We got a bunch of them that got sent in, and I will go ahead and help with some of them. We just send your dating names, your dating trend names, to justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Again, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Here are a couple that we got. I'm going to do my best to explain or just make up right here on the spot some of these dating trend names, what they really mean. All right, here we go. Street performing. The newest dating trend is street performing, and it might have already happened to you. Street performing is a dating trend where you notice that change is missing from your apartment. You know, like a street performer, right? And they just have like a little empty guitar case or something like that, and then people will like pretend like they're putting in money, but really they'll be taking it out. That's what street performing is. When people are stealing dollars and change from your apartment, from your apartment, that's what street performing is. The newest dating trend is feeding it after midnight. Oh, well, I mean, look. We've all seen this one. Feeding it after midnight. This is a dating trend where the only reaction that you get is the you up past midnight, right? It's never, hey, do you want to go You want to go to the movies? You want to go see Annihilation? Okay, what about game night? Maybe we can go see Black Panther again. You want to go to that new restaurant? How about we go bowling? Want to go to the arcade? None of that. You just getting fed after midnight with You Up. How about this one? The newest dating trend is Arnold Schwarzeneggering. Arnold Schwarzeneggering. This is a real rare dating trend. This is not something that happens to a lot of people. This is a very a much rarer dating trend. Arnold Schwarzeneggering is when you are working out with a new date, you go on a gym date, and all they can do is talk about how every rep, it feels like I'm coming. So that's a rare one. Bench warming, by the way, somebody sent this in because I've been asking for weird words that I can make into dating trend. Bench warming is one of these that we've actually read. Bench warming is when you have somebody waiting in the wings. You're grooming somebody else, or you are being groomed. You are the one warming the bench as another relationship winds its course. Oh, here's a sad one. The latest dating trend is Finding Nemo. Finding Nemo. This is when you see somebody that you kind of like on a dating app, but you accidentally swipe the wrong way. And now they're lost forever. And you have to spend the next hour and a half to 2 hours trying to find them. And that's before we get to the sequel. And then finally, here's the latest one that came in here. Lettuce wrapping. Lettuce wrapping. The latest dating trend is lettuce wrapping. Lettuce wrapping, of course, is when you try to make yourself seem more woke than you are by always recommending that you go to a salad restaurant, right? And so this happens at the very beginning of a relationship, right? Where it's like, a guy's like, hey, what's up? You want to go to like boba tea and then the salad? I got a great salad place. Next thing you know, you're immediately you're in the relationship for a couple of weeks. House of prime rib every weekend. I want a side of steak with more steak on top. I want a steak martini along with some steak dessert. Just puree a big old prime rib and then dump it in my gullet. Yeah. And you're like, God damn it, were you just lettuce wrapping me? There we go. Those are the dating trends for the week. Spin-12 says, damn, I'm in the lettuce wrap phase. I feel like I'm just going all in on this. I'm going to do a book. Y'all just keep sending these, and we're just going to start writing them up, and we're going to make the 20th century guide, or the roaring 20s guide to a dating in the modern era. The new trends that you are already dealing with, codified and explained by me, Justin Robert Young. I got a media story here for you guys, because I don't know who comes out better on this. I honestly don't. This just came across my my field of vision right before we went on. It is the fact that InfoWars Pierce is one strike away from being banned on YouTube. We read now from The Hill, an article by Julia Manchester. Conspiracy theory outlet InfoWars is one strike away from being banned from YouTube. The channel said it received an alert from YouTube on Tuesday morning saying InfoWars received a second strike on a video about the Parkland, Florida high school shooting and will temporarily be unable to upload new content. Quote, "This is the second strike applied to your account within 3 months. As a result, you're unable to post new content to YouTube for 2 weeks." The alert said, "If there are no further issues, the ability to upload will be automatically restored after this 2-week period." InfoWars' second strike comes as social media giants like YouTube and Twitter grapple with how to handle extremist or conspiracy theory content. A channel that receives 3 strikes from YouTube within 3 months is banned from the platform, while InfoWars has several other ways to promote its video, including an online radio show, its own website, Twitter, and Facebook. A ban would cut InfoWars off from its YouTube subscribers, which number more than 2 million. Now let me ask y'all this. We have had a fascination with Alex Jones, not only on this show, but also on Politics, and on Night Attack. The kindest thing that I can say about Alex Jones is that it is really, 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 really hard to build a media empire of his size by yourself. And I know that because, we're making a living, Brian to a larger extent and me to a smaller extent. Obviously, I'm doing political stuff now, but by ourselves. We don't really have a lot of, Brian's got a few larger organizations that are helping him get the word out, but I got jack shit. I got you guys. I got my Twitter account, my Snapchat, my Instagram. That's pretty much it. Twitch alerts. That's what I got. If we can, and I don't know whether or not anyone's going to be able to, and I don't want to get into the politics into this all that much, but if you can turn off your feelings about what he talks about for 5 seconds, he's built a gigantic industry. Now, turn back on what you think about what he has to say. Because what I want to ask you, and I want you guys to think about this for a second before you answer me. Who is this best for? And if you are Alex Jones, what do you hope happens? Because on one hand, you don't want to lose your connection to 2 million YouTube accounts. I don't know exactly how much Alex Jones makes in ad revenue, but I can take a wild guess and say that having that kind of access to his viewers is important. But, as Spin-12 in the chat points out, if he gets kicked off, he's a martyr forever. There will be no end to the fact that YouTube censored him. That Google, YouTube, this is proof that they do not want conservative voices and that they are shutting off and censoring legitimate debate because they are a bunch of globalists that are acting on orders from the Bilderberg Conference. Folks, if you just look at it, you can go ahead and see it perfectly clear. What you have here is Google censoring the right of an average American to tell you the truth. Nothing that we say is not backed up by reams and reams of facts. People in the chat are saying he's not conservative. I think he would call himself a conservative. I don't think that he would say, while I'm doing the impression of Alex Jones, that he would say, I am way past conservative. I'm a full-on cuckoo loony bird. So now I wonder, I guess the best thing that could happen, if you are Alex Jones, you're trying to think from the perspective of Alex Jones, the best thing that could happen is him getting banned and then trying to resubmit, trying to create a new account, and just making YouTube play whack-a-mole with him, or having fans flood YouTube with his uploads. That might be what he wants. I'm not sure, though. You know, it'll be curious. I think YouTube's in a very, very weird spot. And if we can take this away, from Alex Jones for a couple seconds, but more just to, you know, YouTube built a monster when it came to advertising. But I don't know if they know how to handle it going forward. Open Bayou says they're going to make a free speech alternative like Gab AI is to Twitter. Well, I mean, but he needs the people. He needs the reach. YouTube's got the reach. Maybe this is the process in the part in which our Pangea of the internet splinters off forever. Maybe everybody will go off to their own sites. Maybe this will be the new social coup of how we define ourselves. In many ways, it already is. We very much define ourselves by our websites. We define ourselves by the content that we take on. I mean, I want to remind everybody that Diamond Club pin sets are available at stickers or DIAF.com, along with so many different Diamond Club related merchandise opportunities. But I do wonder, maybe that's the case. Maybe this is the destiny. This is the dysphoria. Maybe we'll look back at 2018 and say, hey, remember when we were all on the same internet? And now we're all on different ones? Maybe your culture will make you as foreign to your friends as moving to another city. Food for thought. You can send me your questions at justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Again, that is justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Put JuRY in the subject line so I know that you are writing in to the show. Jake from Louisville writes, it's been a while, but I wanted to add a couple thoughts on your F-slur deal. So I just began rewatching HBO's Entourage for probably the 4th time since it's amazing. Just finished episode 6 of season 1, and I know I've heard the F-slur once and probably a couple other times. I wasn't paying much attention, but I remember it did stick out. Now, I'm not making excuses for your 25-year-old self, but it is a fair point for us to remember how much has culturally changed in a very short amount of time. Anywho, keep up the great work. Well, I appreciate people writing in about stuff like this. I know that to go back to revisit it. For those of you who didn't listen to an episode a couple weeks ago, I played me doing stand up when I was 25, and I had not listened to it beforehand, and kind of made it into a selling opportunity for the Stickers or DIAF website, where I was going to send a copy of the album. Oh, I was 22, not 25. Sorry. Yeah, because I was in my senior year of college. I was going to send a copy to somebody, and really that's what I felt the worst about. A, that I didn't listen to it, and B, that I was using it as a sales opportunity. That's what I felt weird about. The fact that I said it, look, it ain't good. I am shameful for it. But look, culturally things have changed. And again, I don't think my heart changed really all that much, but the way I communicate my feelings has certainly changed quite a bit. Chris wrote in, after hearing your Black Panther night story, I wanted to share my experience at my local draft house in Denver. While I went to a noon Saturday showing, not opening night, there was certainly some excitement in the theater. Like you said, there was a cheer for Oprah in the Wrinkle in Time trailer, but I really enjoyed the crowd's reaction to a draft house commercial for an upcoming sing-along screening of the Talking Heads documentary Stop Making Sense, which is quite possibly the world's most white thing they could have advertised. At the end of the trailer, there's a clip of David Byrne gyrating in his comically oversized suit that was followed by general silence throughout the audience and an African-American lady next to me saying to her white date, "You people are crazy." Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's just like a weird peek into white people culture, right? You just peek in, just the Black America just taking like a little knothole, little view, and it's just all of white America like doing the. And that's the way the teddy bears have their picnic. Whoop. No need to look at that. White people are crazy. That being said, I mean, sure, Stop Making Sense is a very that is a white people activity by and large. Talking Heads got some soul though. Volkai brings us on home. So last week I robo-copped my ex-girlfriend. Folks, robo-copping is the latest dating trend. It is when you send an ex of yours $1 over PayPal or Venmo with no explanation. So Volkai writes, last week I robo-copped my ex-girlfriend. I did it through a Facebook Messenger payment because that's the only send payments address of hers that I have. Today's messenger reverted my payment as it was not accepted for a week. Probably the least exciting RoboCop, but at least you can set your baseline. We always encourage RoboCopping stories. No explanation. You just send one of your exes $1 over PayPal or Venmo. Facebook Messenger works too. Just $1. You want to know what? Because they deserve it. And also, because I'd buy that for $1. All right.
What do you say we both just leave?
Go ahead and sign up for the Stickers or DIAF mailing list, bit.ly/stickers or DIAF. You guys are going to get first dibs If you sign up for the mailing list, you're going to get first dibs on all the new shit that goes live on Friday. New sticker set, new pins, a lot of fun stuff, and a fun new video. Also, new Contender mini expansion. The first mini expansion of 2018 rolls out on Friday. You can email me, justinrobertyoung@gmail.com. Put JuRY in the subject line. Support the show at patreon.com/JuRY. You can go ahead and get at my Twitter and Instagram at Justin R. Young. Snapchat is Justin R. Young as well. And you can hashtag join the conversation at diamondclub.reddit.com. Folks, this is your old pal, Justin Robert Young, reminding you that no matter what happens, no matter how much, oh my God, wait, you vomit all over your lap, you should always, between your ears, rattling around, hear my sultry voice asking you to please don't die.
Shots back at me.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.